Ejay'S podcast. Let's go.
Welcome to Ejay'S podcast. On this episode, we're talking politics. Politics. The importance of immigrants running for local offices. And here today I have someone who's aspiring and running for an office in the next election. And I also have people who are very intellectual when it comes to political issues. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. Integration, why are immigrants failing to run for local offices? What are the impacts that we've been able to make? So stay with us.
My name is Henry Obinome. I'm a student at the University of Odu.
Great. You're welcome to the Ejay'S podcast. On my right here.
My name is Linda Omodara, and I'm a first-time candidate at the Odu City municipal election. I'm running under the Greens League Party.
You're welcome. It's really good to have you here. Hopefully, next time we meet, we'll be addressing you as an elected candidate. And to my far right,
Dr. Ejay'S.
Another doctor here, so you can see we have a couple of doctors and people who are very, very intelligent. So hopefully, they share some insight with us today as to what they think about immigrants running for office. But let me start first with Henry. Henry, what do you think? Why is it important for immigrants to run for local offices?
Thank you very much. There are several reasons why immigrants should run for local offices in a foreign country. Because who is in a better position to tell your story other than yourself? Because if I don't tell my story, people are bound to work with assumptions of what they think about me. Like Gandhi said, anything you do for me without me is against me. That is to say, if you must do anything for me, I have to be involved in whatsoever you do for me. So for immigrants running for a local election, it's an opportunity for them to actually share their own perspective on how they want to be included in the integration program, on how they view the society, on how they want their hopes and aspiration to be supported by the local community. And also, like the other day, Barack Obama says something that it's the right of everybody to demand for a better life. So running for office is also an opportunity where immigrants are actually aspiring to get to the best of their lives.
What if if I counted that and said, listen, we are from Africa, from Nigeria to be precise, very corrupt nation, where it looks as if all of us are actually corrupt one way or another because we're from a corrupt system. Do you think it's okay for the people here to allow us into their offices, the local elected offices, with the fear that, okay, we will corrupt their system? What do you think about that, Linda?
Well, in my own opinion, I've always said this, that it is not good to generalize.
Yes.
Always take an individual on a one-to-one person basis. Because if you generalize, you find out that you might have the wrong opinion. It is not possible for every citizen of a particular country to be corrupt.
Great.
Yeah?
Yes.
And this corruption you're saying is like everywhere in the world. It's just that some countries have it more than other countries. So you have to know the individual on a one-on-one basis.
Okay, so when you say we cannot generalize, which I agree, I'm from Nigeria, I might not be as corrupt as the next person, but then how do we prove to these people that we actually we're not as corrupt as maybe the other person? We don't want to generalize. And now we have someone like you running for the office. How can I confidently say that, listen, Linda's from Nigeria, she's lived here a couple of years, she's going to do the right thing, she knows what the immigrants need, and all of that. How do we build that confidence? Dr. Elijah, what do you think? How are we able to build confidence in a candidate like that, running for an office, knowing the background? Of course, irrespective of the fact that, she's been here, she actually operates as a friend, but she also knows the struggles of immigrants.
I think we don't need to prove anything. It's not a case of proving yourself before you go for election because of your background or because of your nationality. So I don't think that's a good reason or a subjective reason to put a candidate. Because if you look at, in particular, if you look at her resume, she has done many things. She has participated in many things in Olu. She's one of the doctoral training committee people. So from all these things, she has experience. She has been able to integrate with other people, other nationalities. So I wouldn't say she needs to prove herself because she's she's a dual citizen of Finland and Nigeria. She doesn't need to prove herself because she's coming from Nigeria. And then there is this stigma about Nigerians and being... The government is corrupt. Doesn't mean every citizen is corrupt.
Well, that's
she doesn't need to prove herself that
she's not one of those.
That because she's coming from Nigeria, she has to work extra hard to gain your confidence. No, she has been here for how many years, and the stats are there for the government to even see. If they can say, okay, she's not conforming to the culture, to the society, she wouldn't be here. So I don't think she needs to prove any of.
To you now, Dr. Yemi. I agree with them. With what Dr. Damian and Linda said. I mean, we should not generalize, which is just the truth. We've lived here. We're all law-abiding citizens here. For some of us who are, dual citizens of the country and all that. But now, speaking of the immigrant community, how do we trust that someone like Linda is going to go there and represent the interest of all immigrants? We're not talking about West Africans now, and we're not talking about North Africans or whether Somalis, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians. How should we convince the other country people that, listen, Linda, the fact that she's from Nigeria doesn't mean that she's going to go there and just serve the purpose of Nigerians. She's going to serve the purpose of all immigrants. And I would like to hear actually everyone's opinion about this. You have something to say, but let's hear from you.
Yeah, before I answer that, let me contribute to what others have said.
Yes.
Concerning probably whether because Nigerians could be corrupt or not. It's about the institution.
Okay.
It's about the system. You wonder why a 78-year-old president will succeed in America. It's very difficult in Nigeria. So
yes.
Even if you are corrupt, it's difficult for you to operate within the system.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's most importantly about the institution. It's about the system. It's about the society.
That's in place already.
Yes, that is in place already. And now coming down to the candidate. You have to look at her from the position she has occupied before. How excellently she has performed in those positions. If she has been doing well, being a member of doctoral committee. In the doctoral committee of the university, you have different nationalities.
Yes.
How many Nigerians are PhD students in the university? So you have people from all over, even beyond Africa. We are not even talking about Africa now. So if she has been given this kind of opportunity at that stage and she didn't fail, then you can entrust a bigger responsibility, a higher responsibility to her. And you should be rest assured that with the system in place, I think it's very difficult for her to get to the council and go and advance the cause of Nigeria. No, because the system itself is robust enough. And so for somebody who has performed very well in previous offices,
yes.
in previous capacity, you expect that she'll be able to carry all along.
What do you think, Henry? Do you think, should the other other nationalities from Africa, the immigrant community, why do you think they should trust Linda to go and represent us in the office?
Yeah, because everybody can't be there. The Olu City Council is not enough to have a representative of all immigrants. Yeah, it's not possible. So somebody has to be there. And that person being there is not just a Nigerian, is an immigrant that wants to help the city council have an inclusiveness of the immigrant. Yes. One of the advantages she has is because she's educated and she's from the university environment.
Yes.
So all through her studies, she had several reasons to interface and interact with so many other immigrants.
True.
And in some of those conversations, she gets to understand the particular challenges immigrants have. And the truth is this, all immigrants have challenges, and the challenges are similar. You don't have challenges facing Nigerians or Africans. It's the same challenges facing everyone.
But to Linda now, running for an office, what would you say to someone who has got a problem in voting? They don't want to associate themselves with, this elections and voting process as an immigrant. The system is already working. Why should I, go to the polls and vote for Linda just because she's an immigrant and she's going there? What would you say? How do you answer such a person?
Okay, let me put something in perspective. Number one, the Olu City Council has 67 members.
Okay.
Okay, so for 4 years ago in 2017, we had only 2 foreigners representing the whole of Olu. And again, in Olu, we have a little bit over 6,000 foreigners living in Olu, and the Olu population is a little bit over 200,000. So now you can see, if we have this much foreigners, 2 people representing, as you can see, it's not enough at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you have noticed, but we haven't seen their impact from them. So that is why. And to add to what Henry said, I am not going to represent only Nigerians or only Africans, because we all have the same struggle. Changes.
Yeah, so we do need to make changes. So now let's move a bit to from the Finnish perspective. As a Finn, Dr. Dami, why do you think a Finn should entrust the public office to someone like Linda? When we're talking about voting now, of course, the votes of just the immigrants might not be enough. There's not a lot of us, and like she said, there's only 2 people representing us. So now it actually takes for some Finnish people to actually believe that, okay, listen, it might be time to adjust the system a little bit. Let some immigrants get into those offices and represent their people. How do we convince, or how do we?
I would say, if they trust the system, it's through the same system which they regarded so highly. She became a Finnish citizen.
Yes.
So going to the office, she's not only going to represent the minorities, she's a Finn, and if there's any cause for any Finn around, she has the same goal or the same mandate to represent the Finns or the minorities in the. So she's a Finnish citizen. So she got the nationality through a process. It's not a process that you can just go. That is corrupt or something.
Yeah.
So if you trust the system that it's already laid down by maybe the politicians or the forefathers of you getting a nationality, that means she's qualified as a Finn to go for the position. So you can trust her based on the system that you already created yourself. That the resources and the machinery has been there for her to become a citizen. With the same machinery, she can also go apply for an election. So I don't see any barrier, because mainly it can be because of our other nationality. Okay, people will say, okay, maybe she's going to be a voice for the minorities. Definitely she's going to be a voice for minorities. But if there's any cause for any Finn or any other person, she has the same mandate to do that. So I don't see any barrier or any.
There should be no doubt at all.
There shouldn't be a doubt, because the system we know how the system works in Finland.
Yeah, and it
it's
cannot
not something
be manipulated like that.
It's not something that you can manipulate. So the same system has empowered her to vie for the election. So so if you believe in the system, then you should trust in it.
And I think in addition to what Dr. Dami said, is Linda going for this position to advance the cause of the immigrant is still within the it's like a microcosm of the whole Finnish system. Everything is still towards advancing the cause of the country. So if, just like Dr. Dami said, if the system has trusted her, made her become a citizen, then, and with the robust system of grant, then you could be sure that, okay, even if there are reasons to be a voice on behalf of the minority, it will still be within in the interest of the country.
You were going to say
in addition to what Dr. Yemi and Dr. Dami said, the truth is this: Finland of today is no longer the Finland of 20 years ago.
Is that very correct?
The whole world is moving into globalization and internationalization. So if the Finns feel that the system has to remain the way it was, then they are going to be lagging behind in the scheme of things globally. So, for example, the University of Oulu, for example, has so much opened up the space for a lot of internationals to be coming into Finland to study, because even the rating of the university, to some extent, is dependent on how internationalized the institution is. Then also, when it comes to the economy, investment in a country, people are more relaxed or more certain to invest in a country that has more international global outlook than a country that is localized. So for Olu and for Finland in general, giving opportunity to immigrants to aspire to the top level is actually giving them a better outlook in the global look of things. The people are also, okay, there is something positive happening in Finland, then why don't I go there and be part of that?
So you saying that?
Sorry.
Yes, go on.
Can I
Yes, please.
I want to say something from another perspective.
Okay.
Most Finns they vote based on political parties, and we have like 7 major political parties in Finland. And each of these political parties represents something. Like, for example, my Greens party, we represent like sustainable development, equality, and equal opportunity for everyone. So most people vote based on that. And also, for individual candidates, they have their election theme. For example, my own election, I have 3 of them. One is working together for local integration of immigrants, making families with children a priority, and striving to achieve sustainable development goals. So, and I also have my website. So, for a film, they will just, if they are really interested in my kind of film, they go and they, oh, she has my kind of interest, and then that's how they vote. Yes.
So it's based on what you bring to the table,
Exactly.
what the theme of your party is.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier that there are more than 6,000 immigrants living in Oulu,
Yes.
and there's just 2 candidates. Now, who are we to blame for such? Would we say the immigrants are lazy or not courageous enough to run for offices, or would we say the system is locking us out of from running for these offices? What exactly do you think is the problem?
Well, if I'm going to say something on this, if we go statistically,
Yes.
it is almost of equal ratio. If 2 people represent 6,000 and the rest 65 representing around 200,000, the ratio is the same.
So you think that's enough?
Now, this is it. That is the normal ratio. It now depends on the immigrant to go all out. Let people know them, let people hear them, tell their story. Nobody can tell your story better than you. So you understand?
Yes.
But if you look at mathematically, if you look at the ratio, it's perfect.
Okay, so Yemi, you're saying now that 2 is enough.
On you. No, I'm not saying 2 is enough.
Okay.
But I'm saying that if you look at the population, 2 people representing 6,000.
So the ratio is
and
balanced.
65 representing around 200,000 is balanced.
So these people, now that I think what you're saying is that these 2 people are not doing enough.
No, it is not about the 2 people doing enough. It is about the immigrant being aware of this. Like, for example, now, how many people are even aware that they can aspire to the council? People who are qualified, you understand? So there will be this kind of awareness that make people to want to go and to get involved more. Oh, like, okay, I need to be there. This is what I have in mind. This is my vision. I have to be there. Like, for example, now, if I think I have to do something, I should be like, Linda may not be able to do it exactly the way I want. Why can't I also aspire? Okay, she's running, I run. Maybe with that, we can get more people to be on the council.
I personally think there's more space for immigrants in here. 6,000 to 2
more space.
representatives.
Definitely.
I think we're lazy when it comes to politics.
No, I wouldn't say
65
lazy.
Okay.
I wouldn't say lazy. I wouldn't say lazy. Prior to maybe 3 months ago, I didn't know I could vote. I was thinking, okay, only.
Okay.
So I was thinking just the election is for citizens. Like if you have a Finnish passport, then you can vote. But until maybe 3 weeks ago, 3 months or 4 months ago, that I was made aware of this. So many people, the orientation has to go around with the immigrants that if you have stayed in Olu for more than 2 years, you're eligible to vote.
So who is responsible for making this awareness of the thing that you're talking about?
The candidates.
If you've lived in the country for a couple of years, you've lived here for a couple of years, you not knowing your right to vote, who should we hold responsible?
Okay. Can I say something?
No, go on. Don't worry.
Yeah. The problem is that all this problem stems from the fact that there is lack of integration.
Okay.
You understand? There is information
correct.
available, which most of this information available are in Finnish. So for you to get such information, number one, you need to show interest. Number two, you need to find probably if it's translated or not. we have Google Translator, yeah. But most of this information nowadays is available in English. So from what I can see is that most immigrants are chasing one thing or the other just to like sustenance, life sustenance. So they feel this is like secondary stuff, and because of that, they don't have any interest, not knowing that this is like what will make our life to move forward in this, like in Olo, in this country. Yeah. To have somebody representing us, because let me give you an example. There was a time that I needed an English-speaking speech therapist, like for one of my sons. Could you believe that in the whole of Olo there is none, not even one? So if this is the kind of situation that somebody that is supposed to represent us, supposed to make all this because there is the fund for it, but are they channeling the funds to the right direction? That's the question.
It's going.
Yeah.
I need to say something here.
Please.
You know, the truth is this: when I came to Finland, I realized that most immigrants tend to they are not aggressive about their ambition. Yeah, they tend to feel that okay, we just come here, we make do with what we can find, and it's okay. Yeah, so I think the first primary responsibility of being able to aspire to whatever you want to be in life is your responsibility as an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the country in which you find yourself. You need to have the drive. You have to have the aspiration. Since I came to Finland, virtually all the things I've applied for, I have virtually got about 90% of them because I decided to apply for them. Currently, I'm doing a PhD at the university because I decided to show interest, and my supervisor saw what I could do in terms of my academic performance. Now, also, I think Finland has a very good integration program, but I will tell you what is lacking in the integration program, especially from the immigrant perspective. Because I'm taking the integration program right now, I discovered that most of the information and most of the orientation when it comes to jobs and aspiration in life is turned towards Amatikolu. Yeah, so the immigrants tend to believe that maybe the highest position they can aspire to is to go to Amatikolu and get the normal everyday job for survival, because that is how the program is integrated. But do they have a good program of integration? Good, yes, they have. But is it okay? Does it actually open up the door to higher aspiration for immigrants? No. So this is where an immigrant that is living in Oulu or in Finland has to be there to say, okay, let's take a look at this integration program. What can we do, modify, to open up the spaces for everybody to aspire? This is what it is. So this is the more reason. This is actually one of the reasons I'm supporting Linda in this election. Because I feel if she gets there, she should be able to suggest, and make policy, influence policy that tinkers with this kind of structures in Finland and make it better than what it should be from the perspective of immigrants. Because when they designed this kind of integration policy, it was based on immigrants that came in that come in as refugees. But a lot of the immigrants coming in now are professionals at their various fields coming into Finland, either for higher education or for higher opportunities in life. So, for example, I shouldn't be made to feel that the only job that I can do is cleaning or those kind of stuff. Okay, because before coming to Finland, I've had so many years, over 12 years of professional sales experience behind me. So these are some of the things what that I feel an immigrant that gets into this position should be able to do. And before this time, you asked a question in terms of ratio of the representative.
Yes.
I feel 2 immigrants being represented in a council of 65, I think is fair enough. The problem that has always been is the lack of effectiveness of those people that have occupied those positions in the past. Now,
that's actually why I question if the 2 is enough, because when you have 2 people representing 6,000 people, there's a tendency that they will not be as effective. So imagine having 2 and to having 4 or 5. Definitely, if one gets lazy or a bit complacent, the other ones can pick up. It's difficult for 2 people to serve the needs of 6,000 immigrants. Yes, the ratio might be okay, but with the kind of society, now Henry was just talking about integration, all these problems, these people, I'm sure it's going to be difficult for them to sit down and make out plans to solve these things. But the more numbers we get, I believe that might help.
Well, one area that I think Linda can also come in. You see, in China, China is a closed system.
Yes.
But if you go to China today, you see Shanghai is an international city.
Yes.
Everything that is written in China in Chinese has English translation. Anything. So it's easy for, and if you go to Shanghai today, it's totally different from the setting or from a typical Chinese setting. So it's something that can be replicated in whole. Like, for example, they send you important information you don't even get to know, and when you use Google Translator to translate some of these things, you don't get the
exactly.
So it could be one of the, for example, like Dr. Dami said, if not for our election, because when they send me the letter that I can vote, if not because I'm aware that okay she's running, I have to be on the lookout for me. I just throw the.
You'll have thrown away.
So it could be one another area that she can come in could be okay. These important messages, in as much as they are passed in Finnish, you have an English version. Because most of the time, important information that you need gets to you and you are not even aware.
Great.
Yeah,
you want to say something?
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to add to these immigration problems. So one major problem for this immigration is that most the integration course they are currently taking, I've heard so many times that they focus mainly on written Finnish. And now the problem for most of the foreigners are facing when they want to apply for like job in their proper field is that they cannot speak written Finnish. What they speak in the society is totally different from what the integration program is teaching them. So they've been voicing that for a really long time, and nobody has taken action that they want to be taught the kind of Finnish that they can use in the workplace. Yes, spoken Finnish, not grammar. No more no more emphasis on grammar. And another problem is that this. I don't know if the integration program you are doing from TE office.
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard that the criteria is that you have to have lived 3 years.
No, you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have.
Okay.
After 3 years, you're still eligible.
Okay.
Yeah, after 3 years.
Okay. You know now, Finnish language is not a requirement for people coming to do their masters, for example. And most times after the program, they go to look for job and everything. So instead of this shortcut, these 3 years, why can't they like fix? My own proposition is that there should be like weekend intensive courses for people that are working during the week. Exactly, like full integration for anybody that wants to learn.
That's a great idea.
Yes, that is one
That's a great
strong
idea.
way.
That's actually a challenge that I have because I work the whole week.
Yeah,
and the weekend would have been great.
Yeah, not just 2 hours, not just but 7 hours, like
Full.
8 hours full time weekends. With this is a really good and again. The spoken Finnish, they have to focus business Finnish. They have to focus on that.
I agree. Now, taking our attention back to what we're talking about, the ratio. If what I think it's not the number of representatives that is the issue, is the people representing the people that is the problem. Is this? If let's say in the past 10 years, if everybody representing the immigrant or being elected on the basis platform of immigrants are the people whose orientation stop at the level of Amatikolo. When they get there, they will see the need for upgrading the system because that is how they reason. That is what they've seen. The advantage for the immigrant community, for somebody like Linda running, is because of one of them is high exposure and level of education.
Yeah.
So she, from her own perspective, she knows that immigrants should go beyond Amatikolo level, if they so desire, and aspire to the best they want to be. So if she takes a proper look, if she's elected and she takes a proper look into that integration program, then she's going to be seeing reasons why it should be updated to meet current challenge. But if you elect the other, as usual, people that feel the best that Amatikolo being it's just the status quo is the best you can ever be as an immigrant. Then 20 years from now, we are still going to be here. So if you have a strong immigrant, just one in the council, one strong voice can influence a very big
But I
policy
doubt
for the
that
nation.
though. The reason why I say I doubt that because, for example, in Olu, the Somalian community are very strong. And they have a different desire, different aspiration than we do. let's say maybe the Nigerians do. We have a different mentality, what we want to achieve at a certain point. These people, from their own side, they come, they learn the language, they integrate. When it comes to like language, they never have problems with the languages. And then they just carry on with their life like that, and they're fine with that. So if one of the two representatives who's representing all of us is from Somalia, he definitely has that ideology, that mentality. Okay, it's enough to learn the language, get a basic job, and as long as they're able to learn language and get jobs, that's enough. So if that's the case, then we're in trouble because now they're not serving a lot of.
Then the two people there are not representing all the.
Good. This is where that's why
that's why we need to elect somebody that will improve the current system.
So you still don't think that more numbers will be a lot better?
The current system, people, if there's any complaint, that means the two people in that position are not working for the minorities they try to campaign for.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that will encompass everybody, not just a group of people or a tribe. You need somebody that will improve the system without affecting the other people. Like you actually make them to aspire to get to higher level than just
regular
being okay with the status quo. No, we need new policies.
Yeah.
Like as you mentioned, the Amatikolu, that's like a block, a mental block.
Yeah.
You need something that you can aspire to go to the university. I won't mention the nationality, but I've never seen them in the university. There are some nationalities
I've never been.
I've never seen them in the university. The thing is, it actually will improve them. You don't just have to limit yourself to some things in the city. You can aspire to get better if you. We can't compare. That's why there are levels. You have the university, you have the Amatikolu, you have this thing.
So I guess I believe that these are the things that Linda needs to put in consideration.
Yes, and
there's a lot of needs.
To add to that,
yes.
you actually do not need like numbers to influence things.
Okay.
It's just about having the right person in the position.
Exactly.
Because if she's elected and she presents some of these things. It's just about how you present your team, your vision. And you see the so-called people that stop at Amatikolo, it's because of the mental block, so to speak. Yeah. So by the time you open up the space, you make moves, you propose new ideas that free us this thing. They will come to their listening. They will listen better. So that's it. So it's not. So that's why I said 2 people representing about 6,000 is fair enough. So it's not about the number, it's about electing quality into the. You can have the two representatives that will be as effective as if the whole 6,000 people are on the country.
I'm sorry. And remember, we have first generation immigrants, second generation immigrants. Yeah, so this also affects the thinking process.
The system is
the first generation immigrants. They have been confined to the system.
Yeah.
They are. How will I put it? They are contented with the Amatikolo and stuff like that. So you need people from this new generation to be in position.
The first generation, if you look at their demographic, it's different from the second generation.
Yeah.
The second generation are the people that migrated to Olu, or this fourth generation that they've maybe their offspring. And they are of different generations. So it's
I agree. Now that is to say, even if you have 20 people elected to the city council and they are still at this level of Amatikolu, so we're still going to have the same face. Now, when I was talking with my neighbor the other day, I talked about, and he drew my attention to this issue where these young guys he met in, these are secondary school level kids, and he met them, they around this community in Uvascola. The aspiration of these young people is still Amatikolo. I said, I felt so bad. Do you know why I felt so bad? I felt, okay, for example, I'm studying marketing for social good, marketing for non-profit. That's what I'm researching at the university. I said, if I were in a position to do this, it's very simple to do this narrative. Look for this community, these clusters of immigrants, where they are, have several meetings with them, and engage with them, and open up their mind to know
see the bigger picture.
That life goes beyond that Amatikolo, that they can actually aspire to be the best they can be. You can aspire to be the Prime Minister of Finland. You can aspire to become a professor. You can aspire to become the best surgeon in Finland. It doesn't matter if you're an immigrant. But how do you do all of these things? Somebody starts engaging with them and trying to influence those fundamental beliefs. That you start changing those way of reasoning before the change comes. So that is to say, when you have one strong voice who is smart, who is focused, and who has a bigger picture in the city council. It doesn't matter whether you have 64 other people. One voice can be a very strong voice, and bringing every other person in that city council to reasoning, to making them to see things properly.
The system is not rigid, so it's very easy for you to. The system, we've seen changes in the last. I've been here for almost more than 7 years. We've seen changes.
There's a lot of changes.
The employment rate, though it's not ideal right now, but it has changed over the past 5 years. So the system is not rigid. And mind you, Amatikolu is not as if it's we are trying to
Look
downgrade.
No.
The thing is, if some people have aspirations,
you
but
can
because
look,
you are still inside the box,
conform yourself.
you don't
to
have the
that
information that you can go outside of this box. Amatikolu, you can maybe you want to. I think it's good for people that are
professional.
So if that's your own field or that's what you want to do, fine. But not just because of lack of information you are in that box.
Great. I think with all of this being said, we can be confident enough that Linda is going to go there and represent the interests of all immigrants, and hopefully new ideologies that will move us forward. So for those of us watching, please, April 18th, the election, you can start voting now. Vote for Linda. She's very knowledgeable. She's been in the system for a while, so she knows the interests of all immigrants. And the goal is to advance all of us in general, not just certain country people. It's for all of us. So please support our campaign, vote. There's a lot of information on our Facebook page, on our website, and all that. You can check it out. Please, vote for Linda. Thank you very much.
Ejay'S podcast. Let's go.